Welcome back to the podcast, guys. Today we are joined by Johnny, who is the head of growth at Togal.AI. So welcome to the podcast, Johnny. Maybe you can start by just telling us a little bit about yourself and what you guys do at Togal.
Thank you for having me, Jordan. I'm pretty excited for the conversation. So a little bit about myself. I'm originally from Lebanon. I currently live in the United States, in Miami. I come from the construction industry, which is funny. I will tell you why it's funny. Because I worked in construction for 7 years before joining Togal. The last job I had was with the biggest construction company in Florida. And we came up with the idea of Togal in that construction company with the family that runs that construction company. And one of the sons in that family is our CEO, Patrick Murphy. So we spun off Togal, and I went from a person who is like 100% on construction with 2 engineering degrees to a person that runs product for Togal in the beginning. Because I used all the competitors of Togal before joining Togal, I was mainly on the product side. I helped build the product as the industry expert. But after 2.5 years, I was asked to run the revenue team. So then I moved from product to head of growth. And yeah, we are a quantity takeoff tool for the people who don't know. Basically, for the construction industry, whenever you are pricing a building or a hospital or a stadium, you need to know how much quantity of material you have. Google basically speeds up the process of counting, measuring, and quantifying basically how much material you have. Again, we use a mix of computer vision AI and traditional computer vision tools to do that.
Right. I love that. And so it sounds like Togal was born out of a personal story where you wish that this thing existed and then you went out and built it. Would that be fair to say? Yeah.
Exactly. I worked in a department that we used to basically use Togal competitors 6 hours a day for 7 days, 5 days a week. And we always knew that there is a better way of doing this. And that's where the idea of Togal came up. I'm sure a lot of construction people or estimators hoped or wished for this. We were lucky that the people who ran this construction company are visionary people. And when they heard about this, when they really felt the pain of their employees, they said, you know what, let's start this venture. And we started Togal in like at the end of 2019, basically. So it's been like 5.5 years, 6 years now.
Since in those 5.5 years, obviously we had some crazy ups and downs. What have been some of the biggest challenges? I guess there hasn't been a lot of construction going on during COVID, but what have been some of the biggest challenges since the inception of Togal?
There is obviously different types of challenges. We are a fully remote company, so that's one challenge. We need to keep a culture that is always remote. We are lucky that in the United States, people do business remote. For example, as I said, I'm originally from the Middle East. Nobody will do business with you over Zoom. They need to meet you in person, you see? Right. So it's a different sales culture. The thing that in the United States, it is fine with that, helped a little bit with this. Another challenge for Togal is adoption. We are competing against software who were founded in 1994. And people have been using them since 1994. They teach them in universities. If you look at their interface, you will feel like it's Windows 1995, basically. Yeah. But again, they have been taught in universities. People have been using them for 20, 30 years. So our biggest challenge in Togal is adoption and changing the perception of the construction industry, which is a very behind on technology. You see, this is our biggest challenge. And then you have like those tactical challenges that come day to day, like making people know about you and putting the right message out. We can discuss how the message changed our game in Togal when I took over the revenue team, if you want.
Yeah. Please.
So there is like small challenges, but I think the biggest one is teaching the industry, which again, construction, for your audience who don't know about it, is the most backwards industry when it comes to tech. And now it is like catching up a little bit, but needs another 10, 15 years to become like close to how financial industry is or real estate is in terms of technology.
Right. And so how are you guys bringing in AI and technology into the construction industry with Togal?
That's a nice conversation to have. When we started Togal, we were a little bit naive. Like because again, we came from the construction industry, so we didn't know much. And 2019, I was taking courses online about AI and machine learning and learning this stuff, and nobody knew anything at the time. And we wanted to automate everything. Our AI, artificial intelligence, Tom Cruise jumping out of a plane with some robots, and they will do the work for you and click one button. So we were also naive. We were like, click a button and let's do everything. But slowly we started realizing that if we are saying that, people are coming with crazy expectations, Jordan. I had a guy telling me like, this is bad tool. I was like, why? He was like, it's AI. I turned it on at night. I woke up in the morning. It didn't do anything. And the guy literally, like, he was so passionate that it was supposed to do everything for him. So we were selling an AI tool, which we didn't know was like basically hurting us, like it was like bad for us in the beginning, because again, people were coming with expectations. You are working with an industry that doesn't feel comfortable with technology first, then you're going to make it feel comfortable with AI. So when I took over the revenue team, again, this is like, we're talking January 2024, which is like a year and a half now. I decided that we're going to change our messaging. We are not selling an AI tool anymore. We are selling a quantity takeoff tool that has AI in it. And you cannot believe, like, we 10 times sales in like 6 months just because we changed the message. Because now you are approaching this prospect who is, first of all, not worrying about losing their job. They are not worrying about their employees using a black box, not knowing what's inside it. And the third and most important thing is their expectation. They are not coming and thinking that if they pay $3,000 a year for us, they're going to fire the whole company. You see? So this is where the game changer happened, is that now we control the conversation. We show them that we will cut your time from 8 hours a day to an hour a day. But you're not going to go click a button and go to the beach and just chill or something like that. So this messaging changed the game for us. I can tell you, we got less customer support problems because people thought, again, they will click a button and will do everything for them. So educating the market and slowly telling them that this is not going to like take their jobs. This is how we were able to teach the construction industry. I'm telling you, the most interesting thing I have witnessed in my career for like, it's been how much, 13, 14 years for me working like as an employee. And this was the most interesting thing to observe over like 3 years, how we changed how people approach us just because of the messaging we were putting out. So
It's fascinating, and I think you deserve a lot of credit given that you have an engineering background and somehow you were able to think like a marketer whose job is to kind of change, instead of changing objective reality, to change the way that reality is perceived and change the messaging. And it sounds like
yeah,
that's what you've done, just sort of like switching so it sets people's expectations differently and then they have a way better experience with the product. I love that.
and I think what helped a lot is that we are very close to the users.
Yeah.
Like, we make it our thing to be very close to the users. And when you are close to the user, your ego doesn't come into play. You can really feel what they are feeling. And then based on what they are feeling, you can like now start adjusting your messaging. You see, when I saw
Mhm.
a person like getting angry on the computer because it didn't do everything for them, I was like, what the hell did we do? Like, we messed up our messaging, you see, because the guy was angry that he paid like $300 a month and it didn't do everything for him. This is where, again, maybe I am a little bit open to nothing as an engineer anymore, but being close to the user helps a lot.
Right. And how are you currently going about acquiring those users, being the
Yeah,
head of
that's
growth?
also another good question. So after I took over the sales team, also we hired Kelsey, who is our head of marketing. She is amazing. I love working with her. I always hear that marketing and sales hate each other. Me and Kelsey, we love each other. So this helps a lot. Kelsey built for us a very good website. And I don't want to give our secrets a lot, but all what we do in terms of capturing clients is everything before they get to the website. The purpose is just to get them to the website. We don't want to teach them anything about Togal. We want to trigger them enough, get them intrigued enough to go to the website. And the website, the way Kelsey has built the website, is like, we convert around like 8 to 9% of the people who visit our website, you see? And that's a lot of conversion. When I say conversion, they ask us to book a demo, and we get around 60 to 70 people a day asking us to book a demo. This is how we acquire the users. But really, our secret sauce is the website. But then also we have a lot of secret sauces before the website. Because again, I'll give you one hint. Our only thing before they get to the website is intrigue them enough to get to the website. We don't teach them. We intrigue them enough to go to the website, and then we manage their expectations and we teach them about the tool on the website, and then they convert, and then from that it becomes a sales process.
Right. Without obviously sharing the secret sauce,
Yeah,
60 to 70 like inbound leads a day is pretty good.
yeah.
How are you running ads? Are you guys doing cold outbound? Is it email, sales calls, referrals? What does that look like?
I think we do a lot of them. Kelsey obviously would have been a better person, but we do ads. We do YouTube. We're doing LinkedIn. We do LinkedIn like outreach, also cold outreach as well, like emails. On the website, we have something called the tour, like a guided tour, where a person can take a tour of the product. And basically, for your marketers, this is like the best. The best thing we do is people get to the website. They want to see what the product is without like having to sign in. They go to the tour, they put their email, we take that email, we enrich it. And then if in 2 hours they don't book a demo, there is a person like calling them. Hey, we saw you are interested, you took the tour. So we don't do cold calls. We do this kind of warm calls after somebody was interested enough to do the tour. You see what I mean? And then if they
Yeah,
want
yeah.
to do a demo, then it's an inbound request. Somebody calls them and we book a demo basically.
Okay. Yeah.
But
Really.
it is a mix of a lot of things. Like I told you, cold emails, for example, we use instantly. We use HeyReach for email for LinkedIn, which would throw in LinkedIn Navigator, ads, LinkedIn, Reddit, everywhere. Kelsey is everywhere. Do you do something on construction? Kelsey has you in a red. Yeah,
Okay. I love that. I'd love to meet Kelsey and pick her brain as well.
yeah.
Awesome, Johnny. So what are some of the big priorities or the big growth goals that you guys have got at Toggle this year?
Yeah. So growth is obviously an interesting conversation. I think growth cannot be achieved unless you really understand who your customers are, what they like, and how you attract them, the messaging. And then also you need a scalable sales team. So if those two don't happen, like talking about growth is like talking in the like in the thin air. Why I'm saying this? Because whenever you bring anybody, like well, let's say you bring anybody to the team, they always want to know who is our ICP. Till now, we discover a new ICP while we are selling. You see, till 2 months ago, I didn't know that electricians will love Toggle. A year ago, I wouldn't know that painters will love Toggle. You see, what I tried to do in this year and a half is we know that general contractors liked us and we were selling to them, but I didn't focus on an ICP. I focused on let's try a little bit more, let's keep trying. And now we have like a huge audience that we can have different conversation to tailor to them. It took us a year and a half to do that. Uh, Again, you bring a marketer, they tell you, oh, what is your ICP? And if you cannot answer the question, I think it's okay. People like feel guilty if they cannot answer the question about their ICP, because a lot of times you do not know who will like your product. So it takes time to figure out the ICP. If you know them, it's like this kid who is born and knew that he wants to be a cook. And from 6 years old, he started being a cook. And at 22, he's making 300,000 with a Michelin star restaurant. You see what I mean? But I have 3 degrees and I didn't want them. I just didn't know what I like until 30. So if you don't know your ICP, it's fine. Just make sure you are always working on trying to know who your ICP is. And after you know who your ICP is, you build a scalable sales team, you grow. Why I'm telling you this? For example, now I am bringing a Rev Ops manager on my team because
Yeah.
I didn't know that I will get to a point where we do not have a person responsible for all the Rev Ops. So before growth, figure these out, make a scalable team that you can copy paste, because if you are growing too fast and you don't have a process to scale your team, then you will get into this chaos, you see? The chaos of you keep bringing new salespeople without taking care of the dynamics of the team, the culture of the sales team, the incentives of the salespeople. So all these go into this growth, but you need to have a nice infrastructure to grow. So hopefully I didn't make it more confusing than what it
No,
is.
no, I love that. I absolutely love that. Are you taking any of the sales calls, Johnny? Because I feel like people would close instantly as soon as they get on the phone with you.
I sold Toggle for 2 years before I ran the sales team, because I work
Yeah.
on the product, but we were 5 people team. So you are doing everything. You're dancing, you're cleaning, and you're selling at the same time. I sold Toggle for 2 years and I don't take sales calls anymore because I want my salespeople to get the commissions. What I do, Jordan, what I do is every week I bring everybody related to revenue in the company on Tuesday morning, and we randomly choose one of the sales people's worst demo. They have
Yeah.
to choose their worst demo of the week, and we all watch the worst demo of my salespeople. In the beginning,
Mm.
everybody was like scared. You are crazy, Johnny. Like you're gonna piss off people. Now I'm telling you, I have salespeople fighting to share their worst demo because every Tuesday we come out of this session watching the worst demo of our best salespeople, and everybody learned something new. Everybody knew, okay, this is our top sales guy. He still messed it up. Why? And I don't do sales demos anymore, but I watch them every Tuesday with the sales
Right.
guys.
Your energy is infectious, is what I'm saying. So yeah, I
Jordan.
appreciate that. Okay, Johnny. So then finally, a question I always like to ask guests is, let's say that you had a magic wand that you could wave over a big problem right now and you could solve it really just like that. What would that big problem be within Togal if you could solve?
Oh, that's an interesting question. Magic wand. You got me off guard with this, obviously.
Well, if think about it, like if you were not strained by time or resources, what's something that you would solve immediately?
That's a hard question. Because look, for us now, I'm telling you, we get a lot of inbound leads and we have grown the sales team. We were 3 people a year and a half. Now we are 16 people.
Hmm.
With a magic wand, I would say like this is more of a Kelsey's magic wand, is find a way to now bring like 300, 400 leads to Toggle a day. And then we can keep growing the team. I think it's more of a marketing magic wand because again, this growth that we have been doing and we're growing again, like 16 people in a year and a half, starting from like selling nothing
Mm.
is really impressive. Not I'm like, shining my own stuff, but we hear it from investors like, oh, you guys in the construction industry and you did this, it's very tough. But while we were growing, my brain was always, okay, this is nice. We are growing, we are selling. But my mind was like, what's going on in the background? Do I have the right infrastructure for these salespeople to do their demos very quickly and get the money from the customer very quickly? Do I have this? If I don't, I sit back. Okay, let them sell. I don't care about if we sell less this month. Let me fix the infrastructure. So we have been fixing our sales infrastructure as we grow. Now we are at a point that again, Kelsey would have tell you more. We are gathering a huge marketing budget because now it's just now go out. We know what to say, how to say it, and how to sell. And on top of that, we know how to keep the clients. In the beginning,
Mm.
we didn't know how to keep people. And as a subscription business, if you don't know how to keep people, all your selling efforts go to garbage, basically. so,
Yeah.
so again, yes, we sold, but also we learned how to keep people paying us year after year. And this is the most important recipe for SaaS. How to bring people and then keep them. And now it's just a matter of throwing marketing money, obviously, in the right channels to attract more people to know about you.
Yeah, it sounds like you've got everything in line, ready for the rocket ship to take off. Johnny, so just wrapping up here, then, if people are listening and they want to check out Togal, or maybe they want to connect with you and have a call with you and have the best call of the week, how can they reach out and how can they connect maybe?
Yeah, sure. If you are interested in Togal, you just go to the website www.togal.ai. So Togal.ai. That's the website. You can find me on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, whatever you want. Just type my first name, last name, because there's not a lot of people with my last name. And my name is Johnny, Johny, and Maghzal, Maghzal. I'm again LinkedIn, Instagram, whatever you want. I love to discuss these topics, as you can see, Jordan. So anybody
Yeah,
who's interested to know more about sales, revenue in general, anything related to a sales organization, I love to talk about these topics.
perfect. Well, I'll make sure to leave links in the description so they don't have to go and try and figure out how to spell that.
Yeah,
But I really appreciate you coming on, and thank you for uplifting the energy in the room. Really appreciate that, Johnny. And thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you in the next episode.
thank you, Jordan.